but she's a pathological liar, like most white women, unfortunately, saying, oh no, we can't do that. Tried it and the computer won't let us, right? Either our computer at the wrong time or that has to be the wrong time. Strangely enough. And it was this farcical explanation, which I basically accepted at that point. The building's going to be closed down in a week or two. And I'm like, that was her explanation. And it never really adds up when you talk to white people, especially if you talk to multiple women in the same office. You get a different story from every single one of them. We can't do it, we're going to do it, we can't do it. And it's like, I was basically staggering my stops in there by about, a week or two at a time, 10 days. I'm like, oh, okay, go talk to me again. I got hostility from some of them. Emails. Oh, I already took a note about that. Right? Now remember, this is just the time. This is just setting a clock in the 21st century so it shows the correct time at a bus stop. You get it? You get it? Yeah. This is a bus stop, right? Yeah. Yes. So basically what was going to happen, since I'd been in there a number of times, is they weren't going to change it. The fuck were going to change the time. Right? They don't work for you. They work for themselves. Right? They have their little charities and they protect them. They work for themselves. Right? And the last lady's kind of like when you talk to a sergeant and they're really sweethearts and you're like, oh, he was so nice. And I said to her, and we're saying like, wow, thanks for being so nice. She just had a nice, and she was actually at least telling me a reason why they couldn't do it. Telling me they were going to, she was giving me real information, kind of talking to me like a person, but it still didn't make sense. Someone else had changed the time. But they didn't care. Basically, they didn't care enough. And you would say, well, the building was shutting down. But that's the thing, is that when you work for public services, you should more than the average person. You're not just running some sort of taxi company, You're running a public civic building, True, okay. There should be standards for things, right? You should set a high standard in your way of life. I don't care if it's picking your ass all day. Be the best ass picker there is, Because chances are, if you're doing what you want and what you need to do, you should get pretty good at it. You ever seen someone who lives in a trailer or lives in modest circumstances and how good they are at surviving, right? Because when you need to do something, you do it well. So a lot of these women work in industries where they don't really need to do their job that well. It's not expected of them. It's basically a sweetheart deal, right? It's a sweetheart. It's like a Goldilocks job. Their check is being handed to them for sitting on their fat ass every day. And they still get to, well, they have a job, right? Which is basically a farce. I said to the people, I said, put my comments through to somebody who works for a living, Thank you. But your job as a man, because I'm coming into an office posted by women, because I'm doing something which appears unusual to them, I have to make sure I'm not harassing them. Do you understand? Be polite, be kind, don't raise your voice. I wasn't going to stand there and argue with this woman. In fact, the hardest people to argue with are the friendliest people. And people in cults, women especially, know that if there's a problem, turn up your friendliness to without, right? It's basically a form of passive aggression. Okay, yeah. So you're going to close down in 2 weeks, and everyone has phones, so you have no trouble knowing what time it is, right? But you don't want the time of the computer to be an hour off. You'd rather the public see the wrong time every time they go to a bus stop. Then what's the point of having the time? But I noticed the advertising that on the sign, that's always correct. Because what they want to be correct is correct. Okay. They don't answer to you, is what you find. They don't answer to the public, over the public. Every civic public job is a form of governance over your peasants. Right? They're territorial. They have a level of governance to their rank and their station. They're part of the government. They're part of the city. They're part of the township. They have rank. They can expect certain deference from people. Oh, thank you so much for helping me. Not. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your trouble. I'm telling her thank you. She's not thanking me for coming in. I think she's not saying, oh, I'm sorry you had to come in so many times. Right? Several times. I'm apologizing. Look, I don't want to be a bother, right? God forbid I should be a bother. But why is the time wrong? Right? I walk here every day. There's no trouble for me to come by and talk to you. Right? What do I think I'm doing that for the pleasure of it? Right?